three corners of the triangle illustrate the three basic elements of every negotiation. Now, if you think about it, in every negotiation, you have your own interest, yeah? You have certain targets for yourself. You have your own goals. Let's call it self-interest, and let us write it down in the left corner. So these are your own goals in your negotiations, right? We call it also the competitive aspect of every negotiation. You can write it down. Competitive, right? So the other key component of every negotiation is what? The opposite of your own interest. So these are the interests of your counterpart, the interest of the others. So let us write it down, the interest of the others. Or of the other side. We also call this component the relationship aspect, because you have the competitive aspect, yourself, your goals, your targets, your needs. And then here, you also have to pay attention to the relationship to the others. So what happens in every negotiation? Of course, you have your interest and the other party has also its interest. So what happens between the two? You can put it in the chat if you want. What happens between the two there is, if it's not an easy case, and let's not talk about easy cases today, right? It starts with a T. So what is between the two? There is, Mark mentioned this expression a lot of times, tension, right? So every smart and wise negotiator knows that this is a counterintuitive behavior, counterintuitive approach to stay in the tension. But of course, everyone wants to achieve what? Everyone wants to achieve a breakthrough. And how that can be achieved is through creativity. Now, if you think about it, every complex and complicated negotiation might start at the beginning here. People are polite to each other, they respect each other, they are listening. But the more time goes by, they are focused on their own interest. They get caught in the trap of their own interest. And only if they start again listening to each other, asking open-ended questions, right? Repeating what is important to the others, summarizing from time to time what was achieved until that moment, only then through some creativity, some new ideas that have not been there before, can breakthrough be achieved. So when you're negotiating the next time, or when you're planning a negotiation, ask yourself, is the whole triangle covered? Do you know what your own interests are? Are you listening to the needs and expectations of the other party? Could you list their needs? And is there any creative idea, or are both parties just stuck at this bottom level of the triangle?